Hello guys, in this video we are going to see how to run Airflow on MySQL Server. So without any further ado, let's get to it. So in the last video we saw how to run Airflow on its default SQLite database. Now we are going to run it on MySQL Server. So the step one is to pause this current web server and the scheduler. Now once it's paused, let's follow all these steps. The step one is updating the package manager for Ubuntu. Sudo apt update. Don't worry, I will leave all these commands into the description of this video, so you better focus on learning. So it's updated now. The next step is to install MySQL, and for that the command is this: sudo apt install MySQL Server. Let's run it. Yes, you can see it has already installed. It is already installed on my system. So and the next step is to create an Airflow DB, and for that type this run Airflow on MySQL on Google and then open this official link. Now in this step we will create our database for Airflow, where Airflow will put all its configuration related files. Okay, let's go to this MySQL. Now we need to run all these commands, and for that let's do sudo MySQL. Now we can write SQL queries here. Let's copy paste one by one. So Airflow _DB will be our database user. For Airflow you can rename it. I am going with the default one. Let me paste it here. Press enter. Okay, it's created. Fine. Next command is creating our user, Airflow _user with password Airflow _password. I am going with default. You can change as per your needs. Let me enter. Next step is granting all the privilege on this database to this newly created user. Okay. Now done. The next step is to change this SQL connection in our airflow.config file, and for that we go to airflow.config and search for databases. Here you can see it is the default airflow.db file, which is here, and it's running on MySQL SQLite. So I'm deleting this database for now. Let's go here, and I'm commenting this URL, this connection, and pasting the new one. Now I will replace all these values. In the user we will write Airflow _user that we used for creating our database user, and same here for password and Airflow _pass. Our host will be 127.0.0.1, which is localhost, and port will be default port for MySQL, which is 3306, and our database name is Airflow _DB. So now let's save it. Done from here. The next step is to install this MySQL Client-dev package. Let's go to Now let me exit from this MySQL. Now let me paste it here. Yes. Yeah, it's installed. The next step is to exporting these two environment variables, and for that what we do is we use these commands. So this command will log this path for this. You can see, let me show you. It will get this path for us, and we need to add this path here. So I used variable rather, so we can skip this. This is just for checking. I wrote the same command here, so you can use it directly and export this environment variable here. Let me paste. Okay, let me copy and paste. Same for this one. Once both of these environment variables are exported, the next step is to install pip. We will install this Python package, which is MySQL Client. Copy. Okay, it should install for us. Okay, it is already installed on my system. So the next step is creating our first Airflow user. And first of all, let me Airflow db migrate. This should initiate our database initialization. Okay, database migrating done. The next step is to create our first Airflow user. I have kept all the things: username, password, role, first name, last name as admin, so you can do whatever you want. I'm going with it for the sake of simplicity purpose. Okay, let me enter. It should create our user admin. Okay, now we can Airflow stand alone. Okay, this should trigger. Okay, Airflow, let's check. This message should disappear now because it will be running on MySQL. Okay, let's wait for some time. Okay. Now I'm using this admin password which I used to create our Airflow user. Great, we have done, and now this Airflow is running on MySQL Server rather than SQLite. So this is simple. Now we can remove this error too, and for that we go to this config file and we type executor. We search for executor, and what we do is we find local executor, let's say. Okay, the default executor is sequential executor. We need to switch it to local executor. What are executors? We will see this in detail in later videos. So I have changed it to local executor, and let me rerun the server. Whenever we make changes to our config file, we restart our Airflow server. Okay, let me restart. Now this should disappear as well, this error. Okay, let me wait a while. Wait for a while. It's streaming. Okay. It should take some time. Okay, that error is gone as well. Now you can see there are many default examples of uh, that are showing for tags. We don't need to have here. We need to hide all of these so, so that for that what we do is we search for example. Now this is this load examples. We will make it false, and then finally we restart our Airflow once again. Let me wait for play. Okay, it should hide all these example tags. Okay, yes, now all clean. Now Airflow will run much faster than before because it's now running on MySQL Server. So this is it for this video. I'm going to come with lot of exciting stuff in the future videos. So thank you and stay tuned.